This is Tales of Xillia. Now, the intro that plays before you come to this screen, it's pretty good. I really like the song, but based on my Tales of Symphonia review, I can't really play more than 2 seconds of that, otherwise YouTube's gonna throw a fit. So, let's go ahead and load up one of these. Which one? Let's go here. Oh yeah, so, something to note, when you start the game, you can choose to play as one of the 2 main characters. I mean, you choose which one you want to be the main character. Let me go ahead and normalize my characters here. Normal, normal, normal. So, Jude and Mila are the 2 main characters of the game. And, so when you start the game, you can choose either to be Jude or Mila as your main character. Now, they're both going to be in your party regardless, but the difference is that there will be points in the game where they split up. In fact, if I had to say which of the 2 you should start with, I would say Jude, because the story makes the most sense from his perspective. I actually, when I first got this game, I actually played as Mila first, and I wasn't completely lost at any point. There was no point where I was completely lost, but there was a point near the end where it was... So let me just say, when you start the game, if you the 2 characters, Mila and Jude, are of course in different places from each other at the very start of the game. But Jude has a little bit more story to discover, I'd say, than Mila does at the very beginning. And then there's a point near the end of the game where they split up again before they come back together, because obviously I have them back together. They come back together, and at that point, being on Mila's game first, it was clear I had missed something when I rejoined with Jude again. So that is why I would recommend doing Jude's story first before going on to replay the game as Mila's story to get the, I guess, other parts that you miss. I'm also going to normalize my other characters here, just to put... So, the costume options in this game, ignoring DLC, are limited. You can buy DLC to get extra other costumes for your characters, but otherwise, like for most people, there's really just like a single alternate color that you can get. Oh, that's my hair. Yeah, there's my alternate color. Otherwise, it's pretty normal. And then you have attachments, which are just weird things you can put on your character to make them goofy looking. Hardly any of them look really cool. You can do some stuff to make them kind of cool, but sensor bar over their face. But yeah, most of it is just for goofiness. So if I were to normalize everyone here, let's go ahead and do that just for the sake of the review. But yeah, that's the extent of the costumes, and that's kind of disappointing considering other Tales games before this have had a lot of costumes to choose from, at least in the 3D games. But that's not a really big deal. I do think this game is really good in the gameplay category. So if we go into battle, I'm not going to go over too many of the basics. I've already explained in my other reviews how semi-auto and auto and manual work. But to be brief, manual is complete control of your character's movement and actions. Semi-auto will automatically target enemies for you, and then auto is you don't even play, the computer plays. And you can set that for all your characters, or just the ones that you're not going to use, because you can play this game with 4 real people if you got 4 controllers. But we're going to go ahead and put in here, I have all the enemies, or I have all my computer friends on manual so they won't do anything. But you can free run, you hold down L2 to free run, like that. Otherwise, moving is only left and right, which is like translate to forward and backwards, and then up is a jump, and then down, I guess, does nothing on its own. Your moves, of course, as per usual for Tales games, you've got a neutral special, up, sideways, down, and you can also set the right stick to some more specials. And if you really want even more, you can have a left stick with, I think you hold down something and then use the left stick. Oh no, wait, I'm just moving these two. There's more shortcuts. There we go. You hold L1 and press any of those same buttons. You can have, so normally with just the neutral specials, with just a circle button, you can have 4 specials, and then the right stick will give you 4 more to 8. And then if you really, really want more access to your moves, you can set the L1 button. You can hold down L1 and then press any of those same buttons again. It'll be a completely different move. I didn't feel the need to utilize that. I think it's fine. I mean, you got a whole bunch of different moves, but I found it just fine to use what I had. Now, something that is interesting in this game, I think this is the first game they do it, where you can link with other characters. You simply press on the D-pad. I pressed right to match the character layout down there. You see I'm like on top, Jude. On the right is Leia. I pressed right to have her link. I can press right, or I can press up on myself to unlink, or I can press left to link with Mila, down to link with, oh my gosh, I forgot her name already, Elise. And then, yeah, so linking with characters, if I switch back to Mila, now you'll see these green boxes next to my moves. That means those are enhanced when linked with a particular character. Now, if I link with a different person, those moves are going to be different. Which ones are special? And linked up moves only applies with, it has to do with the meter on the left there. So, with Leah linked with me, she'll automatically like attack the enemy that I'm working with. So am I switching over to semi-auto? Now I can just hit the button and it'll go over to the enemy to attack.
All that training's paying off.
Maybe it's time for a black belt.
So the character dynamics are interesting in this game, at least. I mean, you've got your typical, the ones you can see coming, obviously. The characters themselves are interesting, is what I'm really trying to say. Not that there's anything particularly unique to this game as far as character relationships go, but so you've got the arts and such as explained. Each character's got their own different kind of moves and their own, I guess, unique kind of play style. Rowan and Elise are your main mages, but Mila, she has both attacks and some magic moves, like explaining here, like this move, if you hold circle down, it'll turn into a spell, where if you just press circle, it'll be an attack of some kind. So Mila is honestly probably like the most interesting character to play as. But I still say Jude's story is the one you should play first. And you'll have Mila throughout 90% of the game as Jude anyway. So if I hold down...
You picked the wrong fight.
Sorry, let's go ahead and... Oh yeah, so any of those moves except for neutral circle. So if I press up circle, I do that. If I hold up circle, I cast a spell. Pretty interesting. I like that. That's a pretty powerful spell.
Do not have time to waste.
So yeah, I'm at max level, so I'm not getting any experience points or leveling up. Well, I am getting experience points, but I'm not leveling up because I'm already at max level. You still get Gald, which is carried over to purchase upgrades on New Game Plus, as per usual, with the Tales series games. The game is completely played with this kind of perspective. You can move the camera around to help you look at things. Now, if you see on the map in the upper left, there's a bunch of little icons. Now, the little white bags, I guess you could say, are small pick-up items, or it's the other way around. Maybe it's maybe the white ones are actual item bags you could have seen on the field and picked up, where the blue ones, I guess they're kind of blue, are smaller items. Yes, those shiny spots. So, ordinarily, when you first get to an area, your map won't have any of those icons on it. Those icons only appear after you find those things. The reason they stay there is because the blue ones, these little things, they respawn after you've left the area and come back. These will come back, and these are tiny little collectibles, hardly worth anything. But I do want to point out that this is kind of just an oddity with the game, is that to pick them up, like, it could be right here in my face, but the camera is really the key to picking it up. So you can see I'm looking at it right here, but I can't pick it up. Like, I push the button, nothing happens. But if I move over the camera just a bit, I can then pick it up. It's just an oddity. So if you ever find yourself not able to pick up a shiny, just remember the camera's got to be in the right spot for you to pick it up. So I just picked up some Ivy. 33 points. I have 95 of them. Those are these material things. So these materials are used for, say, upgrading. Well, actually, we'll go to town and I'll explain the materials better. But yeah, you got your typical items for percentage healing rather than set amounts of healing. It's percentage based. Lots of typical Tales series items. Equipment is just weapon, headgear, armor, and accessory. One accessory only. I know I'm so spoiled by Tales of Symphonia where you get 2 accessory slots. What is this? A fan. Actual weapon. Funny. So upgrading your characters is interesting in this game because you have this Lilium orb thing. The closest comparison I would say to like Final Fantasy X's sphere grid, where you get these upgrades for your character. You also learn moves through this, so you don't just here's an example of I think no, where's an actual move? Purple? No? Psych 2, Dexterity. So anyway, these ones, these, I guess, yellow sunflower looking ones, these are your moves. You get moves. The ones, so when you start out, like, you got the middle, and then you connect a line. Can't really show you because it's all maxed out, but you connect this to this line and you get this boost to your character. You get this, and then you move to this line and you get this boost to your character. Leveling up gets you points so you can move spaces on this grid. And then when you square off a grid, you connect like 4 points together, then you get the one in the middle. So to get this ability, you got to get these 4, actually 5. This one and this one on the line too. You got to connect the box around to get this move in the middle. And that is how you get this. And then each character has their own sphere grid with their own moves on it. But I thought there would be like a way to just zoom out, but I guess not. And then If I look... Hold on. Start? Yeah, there we go. You got 2 grids even. So there's orb set 1, orb set 2. You just have 2 of them. You get the second one at some point in the game, I think after maybe a certain level or something. You don't have to fill out the first one before you can start on the second one, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that's how that works. Skills are something that you get also from that, not the sphere grid, but the Lilium orb thing. These are extra skills that increase your stats, which you can equip and unequip. And you have SP, as you see up there, 312. That's how much SP I have, and that's how many of these things I can equip. Kind of like Final Fantasy IX, how they have skills you equip, except there's no moves in here. These are just simply power-ups, like stat changes. Some, I guess there are some abilities, but they're not like special attacks, but stuff like a magic guard. Hold square and press down. That is, I guess, an ability that you use. But yeah, there's just some interesting things, and you can press select. You can select to have just like a preset selection if you really want, but you can also come in here and choose yourself which ones you want. I typically go with balanced. I didn't really find too big of a change in my battle results based on my selection of skills. I mean, there's a few where avoid stacking when attacked during a jump. Like there are just a few actual abilities here. Cancel attacks by jumping. There's just a few little things that do help. Obviously, you don't want to have them unequipped at all, but going in and carefully selecting which ones I wanted wasn't really a thing I had to do. Strategy, this is kind of useful. I do like the setup of how you can choose what the target they should focus on, what kind of actions they should take, and then HP levels. Keep your distance. Oh, so that you can have them change their action a little bit when their HP changes. I just left it on toughed out all the time. Give it your all. These are all pretty set. I really only left, the only ones that changed were like linking. You can let the computer AI automatically link to characters or not link at all. And then link tactics. Yeah, there's that. But here is probably the best innovation in the Tales series to this point, is how auto items work. So you can come in here and you can actually program your characters kind of like Final Fantasy XII, where you can have them use items after certain conditions are met. So if you want them to wait until your HP is below a certain point before they use a healing item, you can choose what item that is that they use. So you can have them use like panacea bottles. You want them to use that any kind of ailment. How many you use till. So you can have them like use all of them. Like if you have a panacea and someone gets an ailment, use it. Otherwise, if you want to keep some in reserve just in case, like you don't trust the computer to, I guess, use them carefully or not, because maybe you got a healer on the team, maybe you don't. You can choose what those conditions are, like a life bottle. I definitely don't want the computer to be using all my life bottles because I have characters that can revive them with spells, and I want to save the life bottles for emergencies, such as if we get into a really tough boss battle, I want to choose who gets revived and who doesn't if we're low on life bottles. And then event list, this is like side quests, and even the main story will have stuff under here, like Jude's story, Mila's story, sub events, stuff going on right now, stuff I've completed. Here's just everything. But yeah, sub events, these are like side quest type stuff, which is helpful because if you start a side quest and didn't finish it, the information you need is in here. So you can find stuff that's underway, like this is the end of the game thing I'm looking for. But if I have a side quest or a sub event underway, I could look there and find it. Titles return in this game. However, titles are handled completely differently than previous Tales games I've played. Now, there were other Tales games between Tales of Symphonia and this, and I have played them, but I haven't reviewed them yet. This just happens to be the next one I want to review, because this is the one I've played most recently. Titles in this game are still acquired by reaching certain conditions. So, Enemy Seeker, 50 battles, Item Grabber used 100 times. You get these titles, and they don't necessarily change your stats at all. Like, you don't equip titles in this game. Titles are simply something you earn as a title, which I guess is like more true to what a title is. It's not even character specific. I mean, the conditions can be character specific, but because you don't equip titles, they aren't specific to a character. But there are trophies on the PS3 version. Oh, I guess there is only a PS3 version right now. You do get trophies at certain titles. So, I filled out my monster book, my enemy book, 275. Sub-event superhero, I watched a bunch of sub-events. Or I participated in a bunch of sub-events, I should say. But yeah, regular skit. Oh, I know what this is. So yeah, obsessive skit viewer. This is viewing every skit in the game, 220. I do have this trophy, but it's not saved on here because I simply loaded up a new file and watched all the skits I could. So you come in here, you can rewatch your skits. And skits in this game are nice because they are, of course, fully voiced.
Lilium orbs are so pretty.
Oh yeah, so
Where did you get
Elise
yours?
has a little
I'm not
talking
sure.
animal
One day,
friend.
I just noticed it was inside
I don't want to
Tipo.
explain
Found it on the
what
ground.
Tipo
It was
is
so
because I don't want to get
pretty.
into
I couldn't
spoilers.
help myself.
You ate it?
Let's be glad Tipo did. She wouldn't stand a chance out here without it.
For a tool of battle, it really
So
is
yeah,
quite beautiful.
these are
The
the
humans who
extent
designed
to
it
which
did quite a
skits
fine
work in this
job.
game
A
because
marvel born of
the
the
character
same
portraits
human
move around, they
ingenuity
changed
that
it.
spawned so
Sometimes they
many
jump out of their
horrors.
portrait and have
Well
like a
said. Perhaps it's
a
that
figure
very
of
duality
some
that
kind
defines
for
humans.
certain kind of body expressions. But yeah, that is that. You can see my record. Wow, I have almost 80 hours on here. Cool. So yeah, I played through the game at least twice. I think I played through it a third time. But, and that was just because I had to get all of the... Oh, is this playtime? Time spent linked? Wow. Huh. So yeah. These are interesting. This is actually kind of helpful in case you don't use online guides. You can find where items are, like where you want to get something. But we don't need to go in too much into this. This is tutorial stuff to get explained. Oh yeah, I guess I should explain that. What's interesting, what I do like about this game, we'll get into the dungeon design in a bit.
Right on point.
But as you can see, the number there, 8. I mean, these enemies aren't going to hold up. But as I run out, if I get down to 0, it means I can't mash the attack button anymore, and I have to wait. There is a couple of different ways you can get that restored. You can dodge an attack, or you can just simply wait like a full second, and it'll be restored. What I do like, there are back attacks. That blue cross simply means I got advantage on the enemy, and it took out some of their health before the battle really starts. I guess I don't have to leave my computer friends on manual.
Wrong fight.
Let's go ahead and let them play. And I can switch out my party members as I choose. Something I just want to point out because I have started on the sequel to this game. So I don't want to talk about that yet, but I will. I'm still playing the sequel to this game. So I don't know if I'll get my review out next week, but I will get it out eventually. I want to find... Where is... Let me take a left here. Right? No, back. I just want to show off something about the level design here. So there are spots... Ah, darn. Oh yeah, so if you're playing on single player, the camera in battle will zoom in on you. But if you do have multiple players, as you saw with my computer players all on manual, the camera will stay zoomed out at kind of a side view. And that's also very nice because future Tales games, let's say I've got one character, let's say we're playing 2-player, the camera will zoom out like that and it'll rotate. And it'll rotate very subtly. And that is important to keep the camera not moving out too much because of the way input commands work with, you know, left, right, up, down, and special. But in future Tales games that have come out after this one, the camera is more troublesome in battle, and I don't like it. So I do want to point out that the Tales of Xillia camera does work well. Also, we can fast travel. We can jump back to town if we want. These are all the towns that I've visited. So let's go ahead and jump back to Sherrilton where we started. And you can see there is some pop-in with characters, NPCs loading in as I come around here. Oh, see, look at that. That guy just popped right in. But maybe it's because he came from off screen. No, there's some... So you'll see anybody. Oh, see, look at that. Pop in. So yeah, if this game were to get a remaster, a re-release at some point, I would totally be in because it still keeps going. Pop-in is definitely something that happens with this game. This game could definitely be improved with a re-release. You know, hopefully on PC in the future. But let's go ahead and look at the shops here. So the materials that you get, those random materials, come into play here with Expand. Interesting thing about this game is that new towns do not just have randomly better equipment than the last town you were in, which is nice in my opinion just because it doesn't make sense. It's kind of just a video game thing that each new town has better equipment than the last town, but this game does not do that. You just have to upgrade shops. And the shops are the same, so the item shop will be the same in any town you go to. The weapon shop will be the same in any town you go to, but you come in here, you use materials to upgrade them. And they're all level 100 because I maxed them out already. But as you can see on the right, the bonus, that is a type of material that gets you, I guess, double experience for that particular shop. And those bonuses are different in each town. So, like those rock type ore materials are not going to give you double experience, and weapon shops, everywhere you go, it could be different. In fact, some shops could have the same bonus material. So you got to think, which of those two shops do I want to level up more? And as you can see, a materials list here, you can see the icons on the left. It tells you, you know, what they are. And these things you find at those random sparkly things throughout dungeons, which is interesting. So the upgrade option is interesting because it allows you to, that is how you get your better equipment. Like these awesome accessories don't exist in the game until you upgrade the accessory shop to have them. Now, I can't explain why these random materials upgrade the shops the way they do. That might be just as bad a video game thing as having better equipment in every shop, in every new town you go to. But I do want to show off more of the dungeon design in the fact that, yes, there are some wide open areas, unlike the last one we went to, which was pretty narrow, winding passageways. So there is variety in the type of environments you go to, and there are climbing things. I do like how this game implements a lot of vertical level design, because most, even Tales games that come after this, are pretty flat. Like, you just kind of walk around through hallways. This game has some climbable areas. In fact, it works in with block puzzles, where you climb on a box, and then you push it down on a ledge to move it to another spot. These little crawl spaces are interesting because they usually have a little treasure chest in here, but that's pretty much it. And I don't want to spoil anything about the character backgrounds. You can, of course, pick whoever you want to play as up here, and then pick whoever you want to be your avatar character. You can jump from the ledge from anywhere. Like I didn't have to go to the vine to climb down. I could just jump from the ledge. That was nice. Here's that white bag item on my map, which is just a random thing, but the blue icon is a shiny. There it is. And once you find it on your map, once you find it in the world, it shows up on your map, so you can, if you want to farm for these items, you can do that more easily. But you have to find it first before any of those icons show up. And you can move the height of what you're looking at here, so you can get a better view, because some areas do have multiple levels, which is nice. I like the variety in the dungeon design. And then finally, what else is there to say about this game? I will say it is one of the shorter Tales games. In fact, I think it's the shortest, at least of the 3D ones. The modern 3D Tales games that there are. Which kind of surprised me, because when I got to the end, I thought, yeah, it's a conclusive ending, but it felt like I was expecting there to be another twist. Like most Tales game stories, it seems like you're going to get to the ending, and then there's a twist, and it goes on more. And then you think, oh, this is going to be the final battle. Oh, no, there's a twist, there's more. And it's not like a disappointment of, oh, there's more. It's more like, yeah, it's interesting that the game keeps going. As you may have noticed right there, that treasure chest appeared on my map after I opened it, because I, for some reason, had not found that treasure chest before. Same with this map, or this bag right here. It's going to show up on my mini-map, just like that, because I haven't found it before. Wow. Oh, encounter link means there's multiple enemies behind me.
Be gone.
So yeah, Jude is a punching type character, and I am at max level, and this is not an end game area, so these enemies are all going down really easily. So yeah, I mean, the game explains pretty well how you can get multiple enemies in the same area. So if an enemy sees you and chases you, oh, guess that wasn't close enough. But if you get two enemies close enough, it'll be an encounter link, and it'll just basically combine the enemy groups of both, so you don't have to worry about getting into too many battles. And then enemies around you, they all they don't crowd you too much, so you don't have to worry about, one, you don't have to worry about random battles because all the enemies are visible on screen, but also if multiple enemies are in an area and you fight them both like this, then you don't have to worry about getting into another random battle right after you finish this one, which is nice, because even other 3D Tales games, Tales of Symphonia in particular, there could be groups of enemies together on the map, and then you fight one, and then you get out of battle, and you have to run into another one because they're blocking your way. But yeah, I really like this game. It is, like I said, I mean, when I say this is like the shorter of the Tales games, it means it's like 30 hours instead of 40. That's what I mean by it's shorter. Maybe because it was the first PS3 Tales game that came out, so it was new generation, and you know, it was harder for them to make 3D HD games at the time. But I would definitely recommend this game. I've had a lot of fun with it. And you can quick save, I guess, whenever you want. It'll send you back to the title screen, which is handy. Message speed, you can have the text roll out. It even gives you a demonstration down there at the bottom. I just like it on instant. So it makes it easier to skip through text if I'm replaying again and don't want to listen to somebody talk or something like that. I like to have subtitles off, but you can have them on. Minimap, I like it fixed, or you can have it rotate with your perspective. Map rotation speed, lots of nice auto correction. Oh, interesting. Battle difficulty, survey battlefield map, typical Tales options. There is no multiple language options, which again would be something they would probably include with a re-release. So hopefully they do someday remaster this game and, you know, improve the graphics, fix that pop-in. Not that the graphics are bad themselves, but I guess just the pop-in is a thing that's kind of noticeable. But yeah, I definitely like this game. Totally recommend it. If you have any other questions about it, let me know in the comments below. And other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.